Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wise-ish, your daily power boost for the week. To keep you going, to keep you inspired, to just help you to, I guess, add that little spark in the day, add that little bit of wisdom in the day. This particular period that we're in is definitely asking us to be a lot more wiser in the way we conduct our affairs in life. And you found, I'm sure, if you do a life review and go back in your past, there are certain choices that you made that you could see that if you had a little bit more knowledge about it or a little bit more wisdom, it would have been a whole lot smoother, wouldn't it? So in many ways, we either choose for something easy, something simple, or do you actually go for quality? Both are very important. I've found that sometimes when something is very simple, it sometimes has a kind of a quality in it. But then there's so many variations to quality, right? I think a lot about the jewelry at Tiffany's. Not that I think about it now, but let's use that as a reference. The pieces that are in the showcase at Tiffany's, you will not find at K Jewelers. No pun intended to K Jewelers, of course. Nor will you find it in a department store or at Walmart. It's got quality. And what is the meaning of quality? It has a lot to do with the intention that you put into something. It has to do with the fact that you have decided to select the best mineral or resource or item, or let's take it on a spiritual level. When you live a quality-based life, you decide to choose the best thoughts in whatever you will do. So when you choose the best quality thoughts, you actually pull from the depths of the purest part of your intentionality. You've heard me speak a lot about it. That when you wish to live a quality-based life, it comes from a very deep, sincere place within your subconscious and conscious. There are two parts of us. There's a very superficial, surfaced part that we go through the day and we do what's required of us to do. But the deeper part of you answers the question, why do you do what you do? That's what will distinguish your quality or lack of quality. If in whatever way you can really deeply create a foundation in your being of really knowing that whatever you do is for a higher cause, for a higher purpose, for God, for the divine, for the betterment of humanity, then it's quality-based. Now, many of us during the lockdown were looking for a simpler way of living, and I'm sure on one level it's become a lot more simpler for you. No more traffic, no more driving in, what you call it, rush hour as such, for some of you or for most of you. Also, maybe all the expenses that you used to incur by going to restaurants, nightclubs, and so on. All the shopping you used to do. That is curtailed. That is slowed down a lot. And you look into your closet and you wonder, where do you wear those clothes? There's nowhere to go. You look at your shoes and you start to kind of throw away some items that you're not using anymore. There's something inside of you that feels you kind of want something a little more simpler now. You're going more back to a sense of basics. How many more Zoom conferences are you going to do? Zoom parties, Zoom schooling, Zoom get-togethers, How many of those really pacify your heart and soul? And in one weird way, Zooming is so simple, isn't it? It's just the touch of a button. It's just a click of a button. And you go, wow, that's really simple. At the beginning, it felt hard because you weren't used to something simple. You were used to waking up in the morning, yawning, stretching, going to take a bath, make your coffee, make your tea, try to figure out what you're going to wear that day. If it's a really big meeting, well, you had to make sure you had the right power colors wearing. You had to wear your power suit in that meeting so you can get that contract or finalize that deal. Remember how much thinking you used to put into getting ready in the morning? Now, I've been hearing as a sneak story, many people only get dressed from the top up. And at the bottom down, I hear they have on shorts or their pajamas. Well, that's an interesting form of simplicity. But it's so interesting because it has changed, hasn't it? So now you have your cup of coffee. Some folks have their breakfast or lunch at their laptops. It's cropped up on a few books. You're sitting there and you click. Hi everyone, welcome to Zoom. It's different, hasn't it been? But never let your simplicity reduce your quality. Even if you have to be simple, it's in that simple approach where there might be less in your life, or you just might not have to put too much thinking in something. But still, let there be that goodness about it. Let there be that quality in it. Some people might go for quality, but they're not simple. It becomes very complicated. Some people are simple, but they don't put that quality in it. Can you have both? Absolutely. With quality, answer your why. Why do you do what you do? With simplicity, just make sure it matches a quality-based expression. Because in a way, your simplicity reveals a little bit of your closeness to God. I feel that. God is very simple. Human beings aren't. And so when I can live a simple way of doing things, like some folks just like a lot of craziness. Some people can just do it like this. Some people need a lot of things. Some people just need this. And they still have quality in what they're doing. So in a way, God is very simple. And so am I. And so are you. That I can still make something look very beautiful, even if it's simple. I have to tell you a beautiful story. We have these meditation museums in Washington, D.C. And one day we used to do every month a Cooking for Peace session. And one day it was myself and another person. And I think I cooked about 5 dishes in basically no time. And I used only 2 ingredients, salt and just a little bit of black pepper. That was it. And the other person who was with me cooked rice. And on top of it, the rice was in an Instapot, steamed. And I think they had about a few items for seasoning. Perhaps about 4 or 5 seasoning requirements for the rice. And on top of it, the rice wasn't even cooked well. So when we actually did the cooking for peace and everybody was in the hall and they looked at all the 5 items that I cooked very peacefully, very quietly, got it all done, they asked, "You're kidding me. The only ingredient in this was salt and a little bit of black pepper?" I said yes. And then when they went to the other person with their Instapot rice, I go, "So then they were going, so you put salt and you put tomato and you put this and you put coconut." Yeah. Not only did the rice didn't have the quality of the flavor, because it didn't come out right, but it wasn't simple, and people didn't enjoy it. So even though sometimes we shoot for quality, I'm telling you, if you don't answer your why, sometimes it just won't come out right. In other words, why do you do what you do? So think about it, answer your why. If you're really wishing to perform things in a very simple way, you can actually show your quality in simplicity. It usually supports the virtues of purity, cleanliness, and peace. Thank you for joining us on Wises. And now let's hear what your sweet good wish and blessing is for today. Today, your good wish and blessing is, you are a very powerful soul, and you will exceed in everything you do with the courage of enthusiasm. You are a very powerful soul, and you will exceed in everything you do with your courage and enthusiasm. My apologies. With your courage and enthusiasm. Thank you so much for joining us on Wises today. Please remember that I do an evening program Monday through Friday on the Meditation Museum YouTube and Facebook called The Next Normal. Look out for it because we have a lot of wonderful guests. If you'd like to go back into some of our archived programs, we had a wonderful conversation with spiritual mentor and leader and author Ainsley MacLeod. We talked a lot about past lives and how they're impacting our lives today. Very beautiful show. And don't forget to tune into America Meditating Radio, your #1 meditation podcast, featuring a host of incredible people. Look, you take care of yourself. And don't forget to keep adding some wisdom into your day. Much love. See you again.
We find our nation on a precipice, true tipping point. Is this the moment that will finally change our country? Trying to rain on the thunder. Tell the storm I'm new. I'm a rain on this little love. Tell the sweet I'm new.
It's not a broken system. It was built to function exactly as it is.
We must respond with bold action.
This is our country, too. We can build new systems that do what they should.
I'm a walk, I'm a march on the regular.
We are united. We are standing.
Follow away.
And we are going to fight this fight.
Freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose. I break chains all by myself.
There is something happening across this country.
When we work and when we fight and when we march and when we speak up and when we offer solutions, we win.
I'ma keep running cause the winner don't quit on themselves.
It's always the right time to celebrate women and black women in particular.
It is an opportunity to show the nation and the world that we will act. It has been an inspiration.
You have the choice, and it is that choice that gives you power.
Vote. Vote like your life depends on it because it does.
That is what we need next. Action.